establish farms and to raise their own food and to have their own plantations. Elijah is doing that. What you gonna do? You got to change your game. And that's what they did. So they have benefited more. The Christian African American has benefited more from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's methods and principles and programs than those who claim to be the inheritors of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's methods and programs. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that clear? So, Imam Mohammed has proposed to us this idea of New Africa. And Imam Mohammed traces the idea of New Africa back to the essential life of African Americans when they first came to these shores called America. A new life. A new life. The prayers, the yearnings of the people that were put into the ships, taken, kidnapped from one side of the world, and brought and put into ships in all kinds of ways, inhumane ways. Look at the story of Roots and see how they were put into the ships. Do you know what was happening going on in their mind and their soul and their psyche? What was going on, what was happening to them? And how they had to take this journey for 6 months across the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and then be brought to this side of the world. And then be brought to this side of the world and been branded, put marks on them. And they sold, their families are dissimulated. This is nothing to say. This is not to be said. This can't be taken lightly. This can't be said we spend too much time on this. You can't do that. Because the Jews say this. The Jews keep in front of you, in front of your eyes all the time what happened with the Holocaust. The world right now is designed based upon or predicated upon the fact that the Jews have made us aware of what has happened in the Holocaust. And they let everyone know that there's a price to be paid for oppressing our people. That's what they have said. That's why you worried about why politicians can't say what they want to say about the Jews, or they can't say what they want to say about Israel. Right. Because they have that kind of power on the people. They have that kind of power in the psyche of the people. And you have to have that kind of power on the psyche of the people. You have to. Allah has already made us. He already given us a strategy. He's already blessed us with two founding fathers, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Imam W.B. Muhammad. You cannot allow their history to be erased. You cannot allow that the accomplishments, the goals, the direction, the destiny of the community to be sabotaged because of that. You understand what I'm saying? You can't. So, in my opinion, the people who come to the Mosque convention, this Mosque convention, the people who are here are the most sincere people and supporters of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Imam W. Muhammad, in my opinion. And it's going to start small. Don't look for big numbers. That's why I don't worry about it. There's a lot of people in this seminar. If, like Imam Muhammad said, if there's only one person here, I would still do this, because I'm dedicated to this. This is my life. That's why I gave you a package, because I want to stay in contact with y'all. I want to stay in contact. I'm not here just to be talking and trying to cute. I'm here because I'm serious about getting this work done. And I believe that you all are serious about getting the work done. And we want to stay together because this can be a reality. We can get this done. This work can be done. New Africa can be established, but we have to be serious about it. We have to understand the value of it, the value of New Africa. And so when you read the words on the front page of Imam Muhammad, his words, not my words, take this back home and read it, study this package, please. You will see how much the Imam emphasized this idea of New Africa. And Imam Muhammad emphasized New Africa in connection with Al-Islam. Al-Islam in the practical sense. The people that were put in the ships and brought to these shores, 25 to 30% of them were Muslims. They were indoctrinated to become Christians. They were Muslims That was your native inheritance, al-Islam, as an African, in those West Coast areas of Africa where they took people from as slaves. So now the reintroduction of Islam into your life, this new life, this new blood. I'm not talking about Islam as we see promoted in areas like Philadelphia, areas like New York, and other areas where you see African Americans coming to al-Islam, and they have long robes and long beards, and they're looking like they're from the desert. That's not the Islam we talk about. That's not the Islam, that's not the new life. That's not the new Africa. That's not the new Islam. That's old Islam. That is old, corrupted, misguided Islam. The Arabs themselves haven't been able to do anything with that kind of Islam. They were able to do something 1,000 years ago. The Persians and the Turks and the Ottomans, they were able to do something 700 years ago, 500 years ago. But the desert Arab, with that culture, that kind of way, those kinds of and this is history, it's not something I'm just saying. So if you're in New York and you want to try to be a desert Arab, then obviously something's wrong with your psyche. Right. Something's going on, it's like, something's, you're not healthy. Right. You would want an Islam, al-Islam, that is more compatible with your nature as a human being. And there is nobody who's given us an introduction, even with the Prophet Muhammad. His al-Islam was more valuable to us than the Islam that you get from the importation Islam. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Because I'd rather see a person stay in the church until the right Muslim come along to try to get them out of the church, than to see them get into that brand of Islam and think they know more than you, and because they know a little bit of Arabic and you can't tell them nothing and all that kind of stuff, and they are totally gone. They have lost their social life. They don't have any social energy. They're not thinking about their families. They're not thinking about their people. They're not thinking about business. They're not thinking about establishment, which is the goal and the goal and the aspirations that Allah has put into the human being to be established on earth. So New Africa reconnects us back to our African origins, and it's a new sense of how we should see the reality, how we should see the world. Imam Mohammed said, New Africa, a new mind, a new spirit. How can you have the Quran the way Muhammad, the Prophet, peace be upon him, the tafsir of great religious leader, Imam W., and not apply what we have in those three sources to build schools, to build housing for our seniors, to create industry in our neighborhoods, to be the innovators, to create tours, jobs, to be the ones in our neighborhoods looking and seeing where the opportunities are in our neighborhoods, to take advantage of the opportunities in our neighborhoods. This is what our religion is supposed to stimulate in us. If we are properly seeing religion, if we are understanding what religion is, then religion is supposed to be inspiring us to resolve what we see as being the wrongs in our society. So if people are ignorant, people are drinking, people are smoking, people are having sex out of wedlock, people are having babies without responsibilities, if people are unemployed in our neighborhood, and if buildings are coming down and buildings are dilapidated in our neighborhoods, if there's no industry in our neighborhoods, it's our responsibility to change that and make something happen. Religion is supposed to inspire us to do that. But if you're not turned on, the light is not on in the brain, in the mind. Imam Mohammed said this. He said, anyone that believe literally, as an example, that Adam was created out of dust, and water was sprinkled on him, or sprinkled on that dust, and made from that dust and that water, the human being was born. He said, if anybody believe that, he said, please don't tell anybody you support me. If you believe that literally, he said you have to understand that's method, that's symbolic language. And so everything that we read in biblical or Quranic revelation, those things that we can't understand. Now there's two things. Allah said there's the things that are clear and those things that's mutashabihah. Those things that are symbolic, those things that's allegorical. Two things. He said follow those things that are clear, because it's very clear. But leave alone those things that will cause problems for people. But he didn't say you can't understand those things that are allegorical or symbolic. And Allah has blessed us with the leader who was able to unlock that stuff for us. He was unable to unlock the mutashabihah. He was able to unlock the allegoricals in the Bible, and in the Quran, and in the Hadiths. Even Mohammed, he was able to do all that. He did that for us. And he gave us a plain way of seeing religion, seeing those sources, so that our brains will be free. In fact, he said that in the same language he was talking about, the dust and the water. He said, brother and sister, stop burdening your mind on trying to take on something in your mind that's not rational. In other words, when you read something in scripture that's not making sense to you, or if you read something that somebody said in the hadith that don't make any sense to you, don't burden yourself trying to make sense out of it. When it ain't no sense, get it made. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? I love that leader, man. He was funny too, because we were listening to him coming down, and I was laughing over him. I was in the car listening, and I was laughing back and forth. I said, he is so comical, and he is so truthful, and he's so honest, he's so wise. A wise leader. Now, I said all that to say this. That brothers and sisters, please let's open up our brains and be rational. I'm giving to you some literature. New Africa is going to be small, just like it is right now, small. When we come to the Mosque here, convention, you see small numbers, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. Don't look at numbers. Look at the people that come. Talk to the people that come. I talk to the people that come. I talk to the pioneers that's here. I talked to a brother yesterday. His name is Brother Mustafa from Washington, D.C. I said, brother, what year you come in? He said, 1954. I said, wow, in Washington? He said, yeah. I said, you must have been there when Honorable Elijah Muhammad built the nation, the masjid here. He said, brother, I was the one who mixed the water for the bricks. Brother, you don't understand how powerful that is. When I first came in yesterday morning, I was talking to some brothers from Atlanta. One came in the community in 1954, one came in the community in 1960, and the other came in the community in 1964. And they was given the war stories of Muhammad Speaks and the fish and the powers that he had to come through in their time. Because we're not understanding 1960s, 1950s, 1940s America. We're not understanding that. But you have to put yourself in 1950, 1940, 1960s America and understand the context. And how these men had to go out there, these women had to go out there and establish al-Islam in this country. They are our true Sahabas. They are our true Tabi'uns. We can't, it's hard for us to understand the Tabi'un and Sahabas in 1400.